All right, let's talk about a story you probably think you know inside and out, Cinderella. But today, we're going to look past the glass slippers and the fairy godmothers. We're going to break down the actual narrative blueprint of this story to figure out what makes it such a powerful tale of hope. Let's get right into it. So our story kicks off in that classic faraway kingdom setting. And right away, we meet our hero, a really kind and gentle girl named Cinderella, whose entire world is about to be turned completely upside down. Okay, so let's start with Act 1, the exposition. This is where the story sets the scene, right? We learn all about our hero's world, where she's starting from, and the main problem she's going to have to face. What is it that makes us root for her from the very first minute? Well, Cinderella's world just unravels with this, brutal efficiency. Look at this succession of losses. Her mother dies, her father remarries, and then her father dies too. This isn't just a string of bad luck. It's a systematic dismantling of her entire support system, designed to leave her utterly alone. And this isolation leads directly to servitude. I mean, in her own home, she goes from being a daughter to a maid. Her life becomes this endless cycle of cooking and cleaning and sleeping by the hearth, which is where she gets her name, right? From the cinders. Her only friends are mice and birds, which just shows you how cut off she is from the human world. But here's the thing. Even with all this constant cruelty, Cinderella's true character really starts to shine through. She's surrounded by so much bitterness, but she holds on to her kindness. And this isn't her just passively accepting her fate. It's an active choice. She's holding on to this quiet, resilient hope that things have to get better. And that brings us to the rising action. This is that part of the story where one single event can just change everything. It introduces a little bit of hope and, really raises the stakes. So what's the catalyst that gets Cinderella's real journey started? Well, here it is, a royal invitation. There's going to be a grand ball, and every single young woman in the kingdom is invited. For the first time in what feels like forever, a tiny flicker of possibility just lights up Cinderella's otherwise pretty bleak existence. This moment right here really clarifies the whole conflict of the story. You see, for the stepsisters, the ball is all about competition. It's a prize to be won. Their goal is totally transactional. But for Cinderella, the desire is so pure and simple. She just wants one night of freedom, just one chance to be a part of the world she's been so completely shut out from. Asking this simple question is actually a huge act of defiance. For the first time in years, she dares to actually say what she wants. This isn't really about a party. It's about her reclaiming a tiny piece of herself. It's that resilient hope we talked about finally starting to blossom. And just as that hope starts to grow, it is brutally torn away. When her stepmother rips her dress, it's not just about destroying clothes. It's about destroying her spirit. In this moment, it feels like all that hope is just gone, and she is left absolutely devastated. This brings us to the climax, the absolute turning point of the whole story. Right at her lowest moment, when it seems like all hope is lost, that's when a little bit of magic enters the picture. Right in the middle of her despair, her fairy godmother shows up, and with just a wave of her wand, the ordinary becomes, extraordinary. A pumpkin turns into a golden carriage, mice become these majestic horses, and her ripped dress is replaced with a stunning gown and, of course, those iconic glass slippers. But there's always a catch, isn't there? This magic comes with a ticking clock, which creates so much tension. The second the clock strikes midnight, the spell breaks and everything goes right back to the way it was. So at the ball, she is no longer the girl covered in cinders. She absolutely captivates everyone, especially the prince. And as they dance, it's like the rest of the world just disappears. For these few precious hours, she experiences this huge shift in her identity. She's not just being seen, she feels worthy of being seen. And now we get to the falling action. The magic is gone, the dream seems like it's over, and we're left to deal with the aftermath. The search for the mystery princess is on. That first chime of midnight just shatters the whole illusion. She panics, she flees, and disappears into the night just as her magical disguise melts away. All she leaves behind is a very confused prince and one single solitary clue. And that clue, the single glass slipper, becomes the entire focus of the prince's quest. He starts this massive kingdom-wide search with one mission: and one mission only: find the woman whose foot fits this impossibly delicate shoe. So the search goes on, and we see the stepsisters desperately and kind of comically trying to force the slipper on. It's useless. Then Cinderella gets her chance. To her stepmother's absolute horror, the slipper just glides on. It's a perfect fit, and the truth is right there for everyone to see. And so we finally arrive at the resolution. This is where the main conflict gets resolved and a whole new reality begins for Cinderella. The prince's simple words, "I found you," mean the end of her life of servitude. And it's so much more than just recognition, it's a validation of her worth. It's a testament to everything she went through. This moment is a profound, irreversible shift in her destiny. The world that was defined by ashes and cruelty is now replaced by a future filled with love and endless possibility. And this is the real takeaway of the whole story. The magic was just a catalyst. The true power for change didn't come from a wand. It came from inside Cinderella herself, from her resilience, from her kindness, and from her absolute refusal to let go of hope, even in the darkest times. You see, her happily ever after is more than just marrying a prince. It's the ultimate triumph of her character. She chooses forgiveness over revenge, and she gets to build a future on the very same hope that kept her going through it all. Cinderella's story is just this timeless reminder that having a dream and holding on to it can give you the strength to overcome almost any obstacle. So it kind of leaves us with a question to think about for ourselves. What's the quiet hope that's guiding your destiny?